Alright, so in this video we are gonna focus on a few things. We're gonna first of all create the many-to-many relationship and test it using Postman with post and user model. So that's the first thing we're gonna do. So to do that, we literally just wanna go inside first of all here, add an integer with the user ID. And what we want to do in the post model is then we want to say public function user return this belongs to, because it only belongs to one user, because you can't have a post made by multiple users. And then inside the user model we need to have something called public function post, and this will have many because our user is gonna be able to create multiple posts, and we want to be able to get and retrieve all of the posts the user has created. For example, when you need to display it on the user page. So let's go and say has many, and then we are gonna say the related to, and in this case we're just gonna say post. So what we want to do now is we want to go in and run the migration. PHP artisan migrate. And then inside our database here, if we just go in and refresh, we should have one here. And let's go in and just add an ID and say hello world. And this belongs to user number 1. Just put these now second because we just want to create it like this, and then we have this as user number 1. So what we want to be able to do now is we want to go inside our user controller, and in here we want to go in and just show the post. So we want to say post, and we want to go in here, then we want to set this to the post variable here. So our post variable is going to be equal to user post get, and let's just see why it says this here. Should be alright, but let's just go in and try to call this function here just to make sure we put the route in. So what we want to basically be able to do here is we want to go in and say user, and then we want to go in here and say this is inside the API folder and it's inside our user. And let's just go in and double check here. Alright, great. And then we also want to go in and just call this via Postman, and we want to make sure that we're serving this, so we can just jump into the backend folder and then just say PHP artisan serve. And what we can do then is inside Postman we can first of all just create a new window here like this, and instead we're gonna go in here and say API, and then we're gonna say user. And then we also gonna put in the ID because that's a requirement. Let's just put it in here and check that we are retrieving it from there. Perfect. And then we're gonna put in 1. And obviously also we want to make this a get function. So by going inside Postman now, and it says not found. Okay, so we have inside API user user controller. We need to import the user here. From the models. And let's go in and try now. Okay, so it says class post not found. So if you go in here and say has many post, and we also go in here, let me see, class post not found. Okay, so let's try to first of all go inside here, and what we want to make sure is that this one works here. And then additionally, let's go in here. I think we need to reference this. So let's go in and say table. And then let's say for line user ID references ID on users. So if we go inside here and just roll this back and migrate again, by then going in here, if you refresh now, see this is post number 1, and this is user ID number 1. And it references this one, perfect. And going in and calling it now. Okay, so and let's just go in and say user. All right, perfect. And what we want to do now is we want to basically go in and mass test this. Mass test, when I say mass test, we want to just go in and create a couple of posts here. So, and we just want to go in and see if this will be working. Perfect. So let's go in and duplicate. See if it will catch all 3 here. And it does. So by doing this, we are now capable of retrieving every single post from the user that the user has created. And if we then went in here and just, let's say we want to basically go in and create a new user, we could go in and call this too, and we can call this Simon, and Simon is not an admin. Just put in some random email, null there, and password we can just put to something random. This is not gonna work if you're trying to sign in with this one, so I just want to point that out. So this will just be to test that the user number 2 can also have one and doesn't call in all other ones. So we want to put it in, and we want to make a duplicate to make sure that this will be working. And we want to grab the user number 2, and perfect. Now we are capable of retrieving all the blog posts or the user posts we have here on the user profile without having to actually go in and get it from another place. So with that done, we are actually now one step further to be able to create this. So what we can do in this user controller now is, first of all, I want to actually rename this to view, because index is when you grab all the users, which we should be able to do, but we want to do that in a different way. So we want to go inside routes, and then we want to go in and basically call user, write a view function. Want to just put in a space here, and then we also want to go in here, and let's say that you don't want to grab the user information, but you just want to grab a post from the user. So the post you have made. So let's say you want to grab the post you have made as a user. What we can do here is say user post, and then we can say post and say get. So now this would require that you are authenticated, so that's one thing to remember here. But by calling this function, you will then be able to get all the posts that you as a user have created. So this is a pretty decent function to have in case you want to just show the post you have created yourself. And then we also want to go in and grab all users, and we will use the index function there. So in here we want to say like this, and then we want to go into user controller. We want to create a function called users, and what we want to do in here is in the next video we are actually going to create something called a resource using the Laravel resource. So what we can do now, we're going to work on this in the next video, but what we can do now is we can create a resource called user index resource, and this resource is going to allow us to grab all the user posts if we specify. So what we want to be able to do is we want to be able to put in the param here called posts, and this will be equal to true by default. So, or we can actually even go in and like create a function instead, maybe like this, users with post. Like this function is fairly simple to do, so we can use this with resources, and then this one we can do fairly simply. This is literally just going in and saying return response, whoops, with JSON, then have a data in here, and then we just want to return users, and this is without the post, so this will just be user all. Okay, this one we want to create a resource, and we want to use the collection method in Laravel, and then we want to go in and basically grab all users, grab all user post, and what we want to use this function for is mainly just if you have let's say a page where you want to show the users and then show the post in there. This is not like a mandatory function, but I just want to show you how to create it. So we are actually not going to use this function in the series, but you can use it yourself, and once you have created the API endpoint, it will be fairly simple to grab it. So we want to say users, and then we want to say with post, or we can say users post all. So this is actually all for this video. So in the next video we are gonna create the resource here, and then we are gonna focus on implementing the functions we have created now to basically go in and be able to grab the user information here and create a user profile page. We are later on gonna be looking at follows and stuff like that, but what we want to be able to do is we want to be able to go in and have our own page where the user can come in and see the profile of each user. And then you'll be able to follow the user, and that's all for this video. I will see you in the next video.